I don't even know how to start this video. I guess I should say, hi you guys, welcome. This is Brandy. This is a video that I'm going to make that I literally never imagined that I would be making. But because of where we are today in the world, and as we all know right now, we are in a time of change. And when I say change, there are some things happening right now regarding race, racism, and it is like boiling and coming to a head. And so as you can tell by the title of this video, this is going to be my experience with racism, discrimination, and harassment. This is something that happened to me about 20 years ago, and the scars are still there. Not as if it would have happened right now. I'm actually healed from it, but the pain is still there, especially with the situation with George Floyd and the uprising of the people and where it brought it to where we are today. First, I'm going to touch on the current situation, how the world right now, and how there's two sides. You're either on the side of ignorance and racism, or you're on the side of healing, love, and forgiveness. And I did not want to cry in this video. So I'm going to, of course, probably get emotional, but I'm going to try to hold myself back because I do not want to cry in this video. Not because I don't want to cry in this video, but because I spent the past maybe week and a half or so after that incident happened with the murdering of George Floyd. I cried every day. I cried every day because of the pain that is deep inside. Oh my gosh. I'm going to have to grab some tissues, so I'll be right back. Alright you guys, I'm going to do my absolute best to not cry in this video. That is not what I want this video to be about, but I do want to get this all out because it's been 20 years of keeping this inside. I never talked about it with any of my friends. My close friends back then knew, but new friends, family who were not there and close knew I knew about it because I just didn't talk about it and I just didn't think that I could. But now, as a grown woman, I know I cannot be silenced and we have the right to share our story. And so today I'm going to share my story. About 20 years ago, this actually started in 1998 and it went on until 2000, maybe early 2001. I guess I'll give you the backstory. My very first job, when I was 15 and a half, I got a job at a grocery store. I was a courtesy clerk and I worked my way all the way up from a box girl all the way to the bakery manager. In 1998, we had a change of management. They came in and they brought their own managers in. So, of course, I went back to a bakery clerk. They brought in a woman. When I think of this woman, I don't think of a woman. This woman was more like a monster at that time. Now, I see her as a hurt person. I see her as an ignorant person. She didn't know, I don't know if I can't go into her thought process, but this woman was racist. She harassed me. I was discriminated against. I was treated basically like in her mind, like I was a slave child. I'm gonna read some things. I actually kept a journal from back then because this is my time to get this all out. I've never shared my story and I want to share with you guys the experiences that I went through, but also to tell you where I'm at now. There's healing in that. My doorbell's ringing. I'll be right back. Sorry about that, you guys. That was my door. I had to go answer it, but we are back and let's continue on with this conversation. So as I was saying, that no matter what we go through in life, we still have a choice. And in that choice, you can always choose love. You can always choose healing. But in order to have healing, you got to have the right tools and you have to be open. And I found those right tools. So although I went through this and I left that company in 2001, I didn't get totally healed. Or when I say totally healed, I didn't basically stop beating myself up because the wounds and the scars of that treatment caused me to constantly repeat what this lady was saying over and over in my head. I kept repeating it. I don't know why, but it got into me. Probably because I went through it for 2 years, but it really, really deeply hurt me to the point where I couldn't even go into that store for years. Like, it was trauma. And so when this incident happened with George Floyd, that trauma, it just brought back like PTSD. And so I'm going to read you basically what happened. All right, so I'm going to start with my first statement. So this kind of tells you a brief synopsis of what happened. So it says, I have been employed, and I'm not going to name any companies or I'm not going to name any people, just for privacy reasons. I have been employed with this company for 5 years. We were currently, I'm laughing because my boyfriend's downstairs singing. Okay, so I'm just going to read it. I'm going to take out any names of company or people just for privacy reasons. I have been employed with this company for 5 years. From April of 98 until October of 98, I was working 48 hours per week. In September of 98, the harasser was brought in to be my bakery manager. My hours gradually decreased from 48 hours a week to a present 4 hours a week. During the time, the harasser was my manager, and she constantly gave me a workload uncomparable to other bakery workers, which were non-black. She would only give me night shifts and would give the other girls morning and night shifts. She would give me a much heavier workload and only a few hours to work with, and then complain that I was slower than the other workers. When I would ask her, why is that I only have the night shift and I was available to work any shift, she said that I was slow and I needed to hustle and work. That's why I was only working the night shift. I was the baker, cake decorator before she came, and now I have been moved out of that apartment and replaced by 3 other workers who are all able to get their total full hours when the harasser told me that there are not enough hours in the bakery for me. She has referred to me as the bitch to coworkers. The harasser has called me lazy and I'm just a to unnamed. She has made my working environment a hostile and uncomfortable working environment. She has given another worker nicknames like my little angel, and my nickname was little girl. She has always treated me unfair. Since September 1998, I have made manager unnamed aware of the problems that I've had with the harasser. He has not done anything. In October of 1999, my mother and my aunt came into the store to complain about the problems that I was having and why was nothing being done about it. With the past year of harassment, the unnamed manager acts like he did not know that the harasser has called me a lazy nigger, when he knew about it for about a week and a half before he made any report. The harasser was suspended as of October 1999. 1 week later, she was made the manager at another store. Before she was transferred, I was traveling to 2 other stores just to get a total of 6 hours a week or less. When the harasser was transferred, they brought in a manager to our store, and it was a much more comfortable working environment, and I was being treated fairly by the new manager. But about 3 weeks later, they transferred that new manager out because she did not declare the management title, and the second harasser did. So they brought the second harasser back in, who also referred to me as a to one of my coworkers. My manager was made aware of that incident in October of 1999 as well. What the second harasser has called me, she was transferred on Tuesday, November 9th, to another store, and they told her they needed a decorator. She received no punishment for her words. The second harasser has written criticizing notes to me, saying words like, "You are an experienced bakery clerk, I need you to work like one," etc. Before she was made my manager, I was getting harassing notes from her. She was given a promotion in November of 1999 as my manager, and since then I have received 5 hours or less in that department, and also unfair treatment from her as well. But the other bakery workers who are getting 26 plus hours or more in that department, I'm offered 5 or less. And she says that she doesn't have any more for me. So that was a summary of kind of what was going on, but now I'm going to read you a couple of letters from people who stood up. So I want to tell you in their words. When I worked at this business, the harasser said a lot of rude comments to me about Brandy. She made Brandy cry at one time and commented to me that she thought it was very funny that she made Brandy cry. She also said that Brandy did not do her job, which was not true. Brandy always did her job. She has called Brandy lazy, and the harasser has always gone out of her way to make Brandy feel uncomfortable at work. I can't really remember anything else. I'm sure there are a lot of other things that she said about Brandy, but I can't remember. But I do know it was very clear to me that the harasser did not like Brandy. Since the first day that she met her, she was always making it very clear to everyone. Here's another person who wrote a letter about what happened. So this person says, I was in the back bakery room when I heard the second harasser refer to Brandy as a The first harasser pointed her fingers at the second harasser and said, you can't say that. The walls have ears, because this witness was there. On a number of other occasions, I heard the two harassers separately complaining about Brandy's work performance. They seemed to me like there was a lot of hate in their voices when they would be complaining. And here's another letter from someone else who will kind of give you an idea of these people. So I worked at this company in the same store as Brandy. One morning, I think it was in June of 1999, I was in the bakery break room, and I was talking with the harasser, the bakery department head, and Brandy's direct supervisor. The harasser made a comment to me that she is nothing but a lazy nigger. I told my friend who works with me, who was also a department head, and my assistant manager, such and such, informed the store manager as well on 2 separate occasions that this harasser has made racial slurs at work, and nothing was done. So I went through these types of people. I worked under these 2 people for 2 years, and they absolutely had it out for me. I later developed, because I would always come into work and do my absolute best, no matter what I did, it was never good enough. And then just to go into work and hear that these people were calling me niggers, and it evolved over time. I didn't know right away. I just heard it, and then I heard it from this person and that person. I went to the managers, the union. I talked to so many different people, and it just seems like nothing was done. So when the situation happened with George Floyd, and it's like a representation of the same thing, I understand it. So when they were standing on his neck and crushing his neck for roughly 9 minutes, it's 8 minutes and 46 seconds, 9 minutes, and no one could help, that brought up a major trauma for me, because these women for 2 years just crushed me, stepped on me. I was going to school, they scheduled me so I couldn't go to school. I can go on and on of the unfair treatment that this lady, because she hated me, put me through. And I'm actually going to read now. I kept a journal, so I'm going to read my experience to you and what I went through, so you can have an idea. And this video might be long, but it has a purpose. And for me, this purpose is to get it all out. I kept it in for 20 years. I never talked about it. I did go to a counselor and talked about it. And what that counselor taught me in 2010. It took a long time, because I didn't realize I was suffering from this. I live in the area, and it's more diverse now, but when I first moved out here, it was very, I called it the boonies. We didn't have very many people of color out here. Things are definitely now more diverse. I don't know, back then when this situation happened, I was, say, about 20 years old. I was very young. I don't know. I didn't want to just quit my job. I loved my job. I loved being a cake decorator and a baker. I was going to school for training on how to decorate wedding cakes, and all that came to a stop. She excluded me from lessons. And I'm going to read you all that. I was going to modeling school, and the damage that this incident took on my psyche caused me to have less confidence in myself. I mean, even now I still struggle with the scars of what happened, but I'm a lot better now. I mean, sometimes I remember I would look in the mirror, and I hated looking in the mirror at myself. I thought I was just ugly, and I just beat myself up, constantly repeating those words. I mean, I would cry a lot, until that counselor taught me not to let one person's thoughts about you become your reality. And by me giving her that power, she was winning. And so if you ever have scars, or if you ever have something that you don't know how to deal with, I would always say to seek help and get those tools, because it really did help. So I'm going to read you a few of the stories. I'm not going to read you everything. I'm just going to read you a few of the stories so you can get an idea of what my day was like at this job. Right, so this first story is going to be in September of '98 about my request off. So one of the assistant managers says to me when I asked him, why didn't I get my request granted? And he says that the harasser says that I'm a slow worker and I don't know how to work to her standards. And why would she do any favors for someone whose work she's not happy with? I put in a request 4 weeks prior to this date. 4 people were available to work. My hours were cut from 48 hours down to 20. So this is in October of '98. The harasser would come in on her time off to check on my work. And then she would assign more work. And on a few occasions, I complained to the manager and the assistant manager about what she was doing. The problem still evolved. I called my union rep and explained my problem. Made complaints on harassment, the workload was heavier than the other workers, and that she complains about me to the managers. This monster in November of '98, name unknown, which is another worker, filed a sexual harassment charges against this harasser. Nothing was solved. That person quit. This person was also a bakery worker and witnessed the harassment and has received sexual harassment. The worker said that the harasser would laugh when I would cry at work because of stress and depression. So this is in February of 1999. A new store opened. I tried to transfer to that bakery just to work there a few times a week. For 3 weeks, the manager there stopped scheduling me, and I wondered why. And one of the other workers who works with that manager said that someone told her that I didn't want to help over there anymore, which was not true. So my manager says to stay at this home store and help out in the deli for a few extra hours. So this lady went and lied to the other store when I wanted to transfer and told them that I don't want to work there anymore, just so I wouldn't work there. So this is in March of '99. Confronted the manager and the assistant manager many times about the ongoing conflicts and problems with scheduling, and the workload was too much for the few hours that I was working each day. I no longer feel comfortable talking to my manager about this problem with the harasser. This is in May. I complained to the union, and I spoke to the union about the unfair treatment coming from the harasser. I felt that she is harassing me and she is not being fair. I requested Tuesdays off for school, and she scheduled me to work from 2:30 to 8:30, and school was from 6:45 to 8:45. And 2 other people were available to work. The union says that it's all right for her to be unfair as long as she doesn't break the rules. She can bend the rules, but not break the rules. And that was their exact words. So they allowed this lady to basically do whatever she wanted, and it blew my mind that no one did anything. No one. So I requested the mornings again. And she told me that I am not as fast as the other girls at throwing bread, which is not true. She said, you need to hustle. I can bake, throw bread, decorate, bag and tag, and I am capable of doing everything in that department. She has had me working the night shift, and the other worker wants to work the night shift. This harasser told her no. I asked the harasser, why is it that I'm only working nights? And she said that's the way it has been working out for me, and that's all that's available for me. So at night, what they used to do is all of the things that they didn't want to do during the day. She would just leave her mess for me to clean it up, drop everything, throw everything in the sink, and throw that on me to do in a couple of hours, and then complain that I'm not getting it done. This is July, and this is in 1999. Two people were offered training. It says both two workers were offered and received baking and cake decorating training. I was not offered, and I did not receive any training. I asked the harasser why, and she says, "Oh, I was under the impression that you had it. That's why I left you out." And the bakery had said that there was training to whoever wanted it, and I was not offered. I complained to the manager, and he said I would get training. I never did. And this is in August of 99 now. I confronted the two managers, the manager and the assistant manager, about the harasser. Not completing the schedule on two different occasions. I was scheduled to work from 5 o'clock to 11 a.m. at a different store, and it was not posted on the date I was to work. I saw that the harasser handwritten the schedule, and that's how I found out that I was to work. So I called the store to verify, and they said that the harasser knew that I was supposed to work. When I asked the harasser about it, she says she forgot. The harasser has made comments about Spanish speaking and made a mockery of how the Spanish language sounds. A lot of people at work feels that she's prejudiced. The union rep came in, and I made him aware of the ongoing problem with harasser. Nothing was done. One of my coworkers requested that I make a cake for her little boy. It was her son's birthday. My coworker makes a note on the order, "Brandy will make my birthday cake." The harasser tells my coworker, "Make your own cake." And my coworker says, "No." My harasser says, "Well, I'm going to have the second harasser make your cake." And she says, "I want Brandy to make my cake." And she says that, sorry, the video cut out, but the harasser did not allow me to make the cake for my friend for her son's birthday. She said, "No, Brandy will not be making your cake. I'm going to have someone else do it." And that's it. So I was not able to make her cake. My coworker in another department says that the harasser has referred to me as the he told my manager, and he only just shook his head. This is in September 26th. One of my coworkers said that she witnessed the harasser call me a lazy and that she says that the harasser is prejudiced and she feels that it's discrimination because of my skin color. My coworker went to the assistant manager and made him aware of the words that she's using against me, and the management is aware of the treatment I'm receiving. My assistant manager even told my mom and my aunt that he told the manager what he heard, what the harasser was saying. My manager was basically at this point making me feel like I was the wrong person for making a big deal about the words that she was using against me. The words like she's just, and those are those three words that I kept replaying over and over in my head. And I haven't said those words in years. This now is just basically, he's trying to force me into making a statement. At this point now, I don't trust him. I don't trust what he's trying to get me to do. I now know that this is a serious problem that he is not going to help me with. And at the end of the meeting, he says, because I did not agree to give a statement without someone else being there, he says, as far as you're concerned, that this conversation never happened. And then finally, in October of 99, the harasser was suspended. My coworker was talking to the bakery, and she stated to me that the store manager came to her for a statement and wanted to know what she knew, and he was asking her all kinds of questions and disciplining her for her choices. She told me he asked her if she knew of any racial comments that was made to me from the harasser, and she said yes, she could not lie. She overheard it from a conversation between the two harassers, and she walked in after clocking in, and the two were in the back talking. And my coworker said the two were trash talking on me, and the second harasser said the N-word. My manager questioned her on why would she tell me that. And what she heard, he compared it to a baseball game. He told her, it's like baseball. If your son's coach was telling your child, you can't do this, you can't do that, what would your kid think? He says it would hurt his feelings. He said that she should have kept it to herself. And she said she could not lie. She is giving a statement to the manager. So this afternoon, the manager is on vacation. He left before the afternoon. He's gone for a week. Also in the conversation, my coworker said that the second harasser said the N-word, and that the first harasser said, shh, the walls have ears. My coworker said to the other manager that to give a statement to my manager. It just basically made me think like my manager, instead of him saying that this is wrong, he's basically saying, oh, don't tell her that, you know, she can't do well. No, it's like more so saying that this person is saying I can't play because I'm black, not because I can't play good. There's a difference there. So he definitely was not helping with the situation. They allowed this treatment to go on. I don't know why I stayed. I stayed because I really enjoyed my job. I really enjoyed being creative. I loved baking and cake decorating. I wanted to have a bakery, and then I was going to school to be a model. And I just feel like from all this challenges, of course, it may have hindered me in my time. My future is not over, but I definitely feel like it gave me less confidence. And all of the dreams that I wanted to accomplish, it made me kind of not really believe in myself. The anxiety that it caused, I mean, I put a lot of pressure on myself because, you know, after giving your all and wanting to do your absolute best, and no matter what, being treated like that got me into a mindset of just super critical of myself. It goes on, but I honestly, you know, now I love myself. I love people. I forgive people. And actually, about maybe 3 years ago, I actually ran into the harasser. She still worked there. She never lost her job. She never lost her position. And about 3 years ago, I went into the store. I saw her. And I hadn't seen her since I left, like the beginning of 2001. And when I saw her, I just, you know, it brought back all those memories. And she came up to me and she actually apologized. She said that she wanted to apologize for everything that had happened. And I accepted her apology. I did. I accepted her apology because, you know, I think in a situation for people, you should forgive. You should not carry those feelings of hate around for anyone, especially if they later come to a place where they say, I want to say I'm sorry for how I treated you. And I accepted that. And I'm really glad that she did apologize. And although she apologized, of course, you know, it never, I mean, that history cannot be replaced or erased. But it can be replaced, you know, because right now, I don't, you know, go around at all. I have zero hate in my heart for anyone, for any race. I love all people. We are God's people. We are His children. We come on in many colors, like the rainbow. Like it makes up who we are. We are the human race. We are not perfect. And when she said that she was sorry, she said that she was in a bad place in life. Whatever her reasons for apologizing, I accepted it. But I accepted her apology long before she even gave me that apology. It's just it's a really heavy thing. Racism is hate, harassment, discrimination. And there's so much going on in this world that I think that we should really love each other and not treat people unfairly because of their skin, their nationality, their sex, their religion, whatever it is. Who are we to judge? We are here to love, forgive, and to be free. And we are free to choose how we act. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and end this video. If you guys like this video, make sure that you give this video a thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what is your take on race, racism, love, and healing. And that's really what this video is all about. So I love you guys, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.